Reticulated actually means net-like pattern. So if you look at their spots, it looks like a net was thrown over them. Now you may see that they have a very long neck. However, they do have 7 neck vertebrae, just like we do. However, they are very large, because obviously if they were the same size, they would have smaller necks. Now if you notice on top of their head, they have these horn-looking things. These are called ossicones. Now giraffes are the only known animal to be born with horns on their head, because they're actually part of their skull. They're fused to their skull. Just unlike any other animal that you might see that has horns, like our cattle over here, those are grown from a calcified cap on their head. Another fun thing. And speaking of those cattle, these are our Watusi cattle. They're a form of wealth among the Watusi tribe. So the more you have, the wealthier you are. Now you may notice they all have horns, however there's only one bull amongst them all. His name is Holy Moly. I kid you not, from tip to tip, his horns are 8 feet long, you guys. Do not recommend grabbing the bull by the horn, right? Or let's walk in towards this. You're going to see Big D. This is our male ostrich. Yes, his name is Big D. Now he's that jet black color, if you notice, and that's how I can tell the difference between male and female, because the males are that jet black color and the females are kind of a dirt color. That's because of the different times they watch the eggs. The female will watch the eggs during the day, and while she's laying on it, she looks like a mound of dirt, so she kind of blends in with her environment. The male is that jet black color because he'll watch her during the night, and so he blends in with the night sky. Alright, over to our left, we have the backside of our Arizona trail. We're going to find all sorts of animals native to Arizona. We have our golden eagles, burrowing owls, even javelina, and prairie dogs. We also have some of those Acme-friendly guys like the roadrunner and coyote. However, they do not have slingshots and rockets, I'm sorry. Now over to the left is the backside of our coyote exhibit. We have 2 coyotes here at the Phoenix Zoo, a male and a female. Male's name is Bob, female's name is Lucky. Now Bob got his name from an incident that happened to him. Prior to the incident, he used to have a normal long tail, and after it, he ended up getting it cut half off, hence the name Bob, kind of like a bobcat. Watch out for the train, you guys. And Lucky got her name, well, because she ended up keeping her tail, so we called her Lucky. Alright, coming up on the right, you're going to see all these rocks. This is home to the smallest canine, our Fennec fox. Now they are a nocturnal animal, so it's fun to see them out during the day. Looks like they're in the back. Sometimes if you don't see them, if you look at that black box on the right, you'll find them there as well. So like I said, they are the smallest canine. However, they do have a very large ear to body ratio. Their ears can get up to 4 inches long. That's about half their body length. Now they'll use these ears to listen to their iPods throughout the day. They also use it to listen for other small creatures amongst the desert sand. And they use it as an air conditioning unit. What they'll do is they have all these large patches of veins in their ears. And when a cool desert breeze rolls by, they send looking at that breeze and it helps cool off their entire body. Over to the left, I'm going to teach you a little bit about Arizona's history. This is Governor Hunt's tomb. Now, for those of you who don't know, Governor Hunt was the first governor of Arizona. He served 7 non-consecutive terms. He also gave women the right to vote in Arizona. Now, he had a great fascination with the Egyptian culture, so he decided he wanted to be buried underneath the pyramid, just like the pharaohs of the Egyptian time. He's also buried up there with his in-laws, and some even say the family dog. What a good boy for Stan. Alright, over to our left, we have our Desert Lives Trail, where immediately you're going to see 3 large buttes, which are home to our Bighorn sheep. Now, earlier I saw them scaling the cliffside in the middle view, but you can see them on steep cliffsides because they can scale cliffs up to 85 degrees of an angle. That's almost straight up. That's easy to spot the difference between male and female, because male's horns will have that cool curly Q effect, and the females will have a straighter horn. Male's horns can weigh up to 25 pounds a piece, so it's like carrying 50 pounds on their head their entire life. No thank you. Also, those of you who don't know the difference between horns and antlers, antlers are shed every year, horns are not. So our bighorn sheep will keep their horns all year long, and the antlers, like on deer and elk, will be shed. Over to the left, you can see her. She's on the far back in the left side, kind of by her night house. This is our Sumatran tiger, Claudia. Make sure you can check her out. A Sumatran tiger. one of the smallest of the subspecies. It's also one of the stripiest. So you look, she has tons of those stripy patterns. However, it is not a fur pattern. It goes all the way down to her skin. So if you were to shave Hadia, which I do not recommend, you would notice that her stripes are almost like a tattoo.
Tiger, Ellen?
Pretty cool. Now over to the right, you're going to see our giraffe encounter, where you see the other two of our 4 reticulated giraffes. You can come over here, pay a couple bucks, and hand feed the giraffes yourself. Pretty cool. They have an 18-inch long prehensile tongue, and they just wrap it around the treat in your hand or the lettuce that you're giving to them. It's pretty fun. Make sure you check it out sometime. Alright guys, who here likes the Lion King? Raise your hand. Lion King? Yeah. Alright, you might recognize a couple of these animals. Over to the right, we have a warthog. Who does that remind you of? Oompa, that's right. Warthog gets its name from the wart patches underneath its eyes. It also has a couple more between its tusks and between its eyes. Also has this cool feature. It's got these tusks on the front of its face that it uses to dig and rub. Alright, over to the left, you're going to see our African lions. You can see Cookie's head, our female. Right back there, you'll see her around the corner. We have a male and female, both brother and sister. Our female's name is Cookie and our male's name is She. She eats up to 12 pounds of meat per day. That's equivalent to 48 quarter-pounders of cheese. That could feed this entire train. That's a lot of meat. Alright guys, this brings us to our first stop. And I have to remind you that this is a drop-off and pick-up location, so if you do want to get off and check out the giraffe encounter, you're going to have to wait for the next train. And for all of those Lion King fans, if you look behind us, there's an aviary, which is home to our Vonderdeacon hornbill, who some might recognize as Sawtooth.
Well, not all done yet, then. Let's do one whole track.
Fun story about these lions is they were rescued by the Pennsylvania Game and Fish from a man's home. Not my idea of a household cat, right? He also has tigers, from which I'm told. All sorts of crazy. Alright, looks like we have everybody off that wants to get off. If I can have the back check, make sure we're clear of strollers. Give me a thumbs up if we are. Perfect. And if we can check around the train, I don't want anybody in between the cars. Are we good? Yeah. Alright. Like I said, I can't get it going without a big loud choo-choo. So on 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright. A little bit of enthusiasm, but we'll work on it. We got time. Alright guys, coming up on our left, we have our Arabian oryx. Now, it is believed to be that the unicorn myth came about due to the Arabian oryx. So if you look at them, sometimes when they turn their head to the side, at that perfect profile view, you'll notice that it looks like they have one horn. So they used to think back in the day, that's why they were considered to be unicorns. Now, unfortunately, back in 1962, these animals were so close to endangerment, it was scary. There's only a couple dozen left out in the world, the entire world. Now, due to our reputation and conservation efforts here at the Phoenix Zoo, we were given 9 of those couple dozen, and even to this day, we have helped bring those numbers back up to the 1,000. So they're doing very well. Our left is the end of our Meerkat adventure. You might recognize Meerkat adventure, or Lion King adventure. You might recognize one of these guys as Timon. This is our Meerkat guy. Oh, you can see him right over to the right of the exhibit. Now, meerkats are very cool because in the colony, everybody has their own job. So you're going to have hunters, you're going to have teachers, you're going to have babysitters, and even sentries. The reason I bring up sentries is because it's a very important job. What they do is look out for danger. So they'll stand above ground and look and hear for that danger. The second they spot it or hear it, they'll give it a big yelp, telling everybody, hey, get underground, or you're going to be lunch. No, no. Alright, over to the right, we have the most exciting exhibit here at the Phoenix Zoo, rocks and logs. Check them out, guys. They won't be going anywhere. I promise. Alright, right behind those rocks and logs, you're actually going to see our white rhinos. We have 2 ladies back there, Happier and Notch. Collectively, they weigh about 9,000 pounds, so that's about 4,500 apiece. These ladies have been together for about 30 years, so you can see they're very close. Right in front of those rhinos, if you didn't get a glance, you might have seen a gazelle. You can see them right around the corner. This is our Sphinx gazelle. The cool thing about the Sphinx gazelle is they have an extra flap on their nose, and when in danger, they let out a loud sound that I'm told sounds like a gunshot. I'll scare away anybody. Over to the left, you're going to see a couple mandrills just laying around. Our male's laying there just starting with his belly up. Mandrills are not creatures I think I'd want to mess with or make mad because their canines can get longer and sharper than that of a lion. Not fun. Over to the right, you can see a couple of the moms laying around and our two babies, just crazy. These are our Moors gazelle. Now, unfortunately, Moors gazelle are considered extinct out in the wild. So anytime you see Moors gazelle, it will be most likely in a zoo. Now, there are programs going on around the world that we are also involved with that are helping bring these numbers up. But like you see, our two babies are doing well, and we're helping bring those numbers up.
What?
Over to the left, we have our Hamadryas baboon.
The monkeys with the
They
red.
might be over by those windows, but usually the first thing people notice is their big red rump.
He doesn't want to let.
That's right, get your giggles out. What that is it's a callus on their backside, because where they live, they sit on rocks all day. And, well, you know, from sitting so long, your legs may fall asleep, and if danger comes about, they need to run around. So that callus backside helps blood flow to their legs. So if they're in danger, they can get up and run as fast as they can. Just like the gingerbread man. Alright, over to the left, we have my favorite African animal here. They've been hiding out all day, so I hope you can see them. This is our African painted dogs. We have 5 boys back there, all brothers. Now they're my favorite because they are considered the most successful predator out in Africa. Their hunting success rate is 80%, so 8 out of 10 animals they hunt, they will get. So to compare that to another animal, like the African lion, the lion is considered very successful, only has a 30% success rate. Pretty cool. Over to the left again, we have our cheetahs. We have 2 brothers in there. I think they're right behind this crowd on the right side. They hang out on the far right, on the far left, so make sure you look for them. They're pretty easy to spot. Now cheetahs can get up to speeds of 70 miles per hour. Let me do a little bit of math for you. It takes a cheetah 1 second to go 3 strides. It takes them 9 strides to get up to that full 70 miles per hour. So in about 3 seconds, they're at that 70. That's pretty fast, if I do say so myself. Hi, Christina. Now over to the left, you can see our conservation center. Let me tell you a little bit about the history of this center. Back in 1962, Mr. Maytag of Maytag Appliances founded the Maytag Zoo, which later became known as the Phoenix Zoo. So that's where you're at right now. And at the time, he decided he wanted to be a part of conservation efforts going on around the world. So he helped endangered species. So he helped bring the zoo up, and now we are the largest privately funded non-profit zoo. So anything and everything you guys do via admissions, concessions, and even this train ride help feed, breed, and release those endangered animals. So every day you come here, you're helping out the endangered species we help here. So we'd like to thank you for helping us out with that. Coming up on the left, we have our camel ride, where we have 3 dromedary camels, all boys, but you can come and ride yourself. Pretty fun. Camel crew nice and busy. Now you may notice on these camels, they have a large hump on their back. What do you think they store in that hump? Water, fat, good guess. No, it's Legos, just in case they get bored. No, it is fat. Because camels go months without food. They can go weeks without water. So they'll store all the nutrients and supplements that they need in that hump. So if they go on those long treks across the desert, they can survive without that food.
I saw them.
Alright. Over to the right, you're going to see one entrance to our tropic trail and find our tropical plants with tropical birds. All sorts of tropical. You're also going to see the entrance to our monkey village. Immediately, you're going to smell that awesome perfume of our maned wolf, Romeo. He gets his name from his birthday. He was born on February 14th. Aww, what a sweetheart. Now he has that odor to help attract the females. Yeah, and also to mark his territory. If you do come over here and check it out, you're going to also notice that there are a couple giant anteaters in there. And the reason they can live together is because they know, well, not to mess with each other. Giant anteaters have those large claws, and the male wolf is endangered as well. You can see why the giant anteaters pass these people on the right side of the exhibit. The anteaters can get up to a 24-inch long tongue and eat about 30,000 bugs a day. A couple hundred more than me, but they still got me beat, right? Alright, over to our right. Guys, check them out. We got tons of them in there. They use primitive tools like cameras and maps. We have humans.
We got humans over there.
No, this is our monkey village I was talking about. This is home to 16 squirrel monkeys, where you can go in there and be within feet of these squirrel monkeys. It's fun for photo opportunities and great for the kids to check out the monkeys themselves. Over to the right, we have one of our black howler monkeys, our male. Look at him, he's that jet black color right up against the fence. If you look for the female, she's kind of a golden color. Now, when she's that golden color, you kind of think, well, why is she called a black howler monkey? That's because the name comes mostly from the male, who does most of the hooting and hollering, and he does it at nighttime. So when he's yelling and screaming, he's kind of giving away his position to predators, but since he's that black color, he's able to hide in the shadows, so it's hard for them to spot them in the trees. Over to the left, you might see some horses around. This is our equine center, where we got all sorts of different horses. We had our Clydesdale out earlier. You can go to phoenixzoo.org and sign up for horse riding classes for yourself. We also use these horses for special events like Zoo Light, Halloween, and even weddings. Alright, over to the right, it's my favorite bird here at the Phoenix Zoo. The crested screamer, you can see them on the front left side of the exhibit. Now they're my favorite bird because they are the loudest bird in the New World. And they also have a cool feature on their wings. They have these claws. Now the males will use this during mating season. They'll fight over the females, and they also use it as a defense mechanism. So if they're ever being attacked, to help ward off predators. Now the reason they're my favorite is because when they open up their wings, they kind of lift up their tail and they look somewhat like a pterodactyl. Pretty cool. Like a dinosaur. Yeah. Alright, as we leave Phoenix, we'll enter Colombia into our forest of Buco. We're going to find all sorts of animals like our Andean bear, our white-faced socky monkey, scarlet macaw, and even boa constrictors. Nice. Guys, check out these monkeys. Their parents push them around in strollers. I hear that young hang out for up to 18 years. Oh, a little long. Even cry on the rock. Look at that. Alright, right past the Port Buco, you're going to see our beautiful Brazilian golden conure. Hopefully he's out for you. Yeah, he's back there playing in the back of the exhibit. Unfortunately, due to illegal pet trade, there he is. The golden conure is considered endangered, but due to programs around the world and programs here at the Phoenix Zoo, we're helping bring those numbers up. I want to point something out. If you look right underneath that bridge in the Wetlands exhibit back there, you're going to see a little deer. Now, I like pointing them out because that's very rare to see these, you guys. They're very, very shy animals. That's our brocket deer. They'll usually be hiding out in the grass, so it's fun to check them out. Inside that Wetlands exhibit as well, we have American white pelicans. So right now it is mating season for them, so they have these horns on their bills. It's another cool feature to look at. Right in front of us, we have our roseate spoonbill, who gets that name from, well, his spoonbill that he uses to help scoop up little animals in the water. We have our scarlet ibis. Now, if you look at our roseate spoonbill, he's that pink color. Back in the Wetlands exhibit, we have those Chilean flamingos that are also that pink color. They get that color from a chemical in their diet known as beta-carotene. Think if you eat enough of that, you turn pink too? Maybe. Alright guys, this brings us to our second stop here. Over to the left, we have our children's trail. Well, there's a petting zoo, our wallaby walkabout, and even our koalas. So make sure you check them out. But over to the left, our koalas will be leaving us in April, so sometime make sure you pay them a visit. Over to the right, we have our wetlands, and man, just the forest of Buco. Elephant? I don't know. It might be coming up soon.
Wait to the camera, girls. Look on me. Girls. Sit down, Case. You think you can have
have to wave now.
Bike's rolling away.
No, man. You want to get on the camera? That's when you're on.
Huh?
Remember when you're on it?
Yeah. It was tired.
Alright, looks like we're clear in the back. If everybody can look between the cars, make sure that we're all clear of little ones. We don't want to get them hurt. We're missing one.
Yeah. She's right there.
Oh, somebody's putting the stroller in. Okay. Thank you. That's what we do this check for. Perfect. Are you just getting on the train?
Yeah, there are turtles over there.
No? Okay. It's like musical chairs. Everyone is moving around and off and on, getting on. That's without music, so it's not as fun.
choo choo. Practice, there we go. Choo choo. You like in the train? Tell mommy you didn't get the monkey with the red butts. Tell her you looked away.
Mom, I looked away. That is
Alright.
He didn't want to see the monkeys with the red butts, so he looked away.
Okay.
He was embarrassed of them.
Are we all good? Everybody on? Alright. Again, if we can check between the cars on anybody in between them. We're all good if I can get a thumbs up. No, it's perfect. There we go. Alright, like I said, we gotta make fools of ourselves and be really loud in order to get this train going. So if I can get one last loud choo-choo on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Choo-choo!
There we go. I like it. Perfect. Alright, coming up on our right, guys, you're going to see a large salad bowl, which is home to our rhinoceros iguana. They are not rhinoceros, however, they are iguanas, so keep that in mind. You can check them out. They get their name from the horn on their nose. It's just a little protrusion that they use as a tool to help dig up grubs in the ground and even find cooler dirt to help them sleep and cool off. Right next door to our iguanas, you're going to see both our Galapagos and Eldabra tortoise. Galapagos on the right, Eldabra on the left.
That one's eating.
Now,
Get it?
Galapagos, her name is Mary. And next door to her is Ralph. He's the big guy over here. You might notice that they're both pretty big, very large tortoises, and they will continue to get bigger. The island that they come from, they have no known predators except for humans themselves. Hence the gigantism, so they will continue to grow as they age. So you look at Ralph, you might notice he's pretty big. How old is he? We haven't actually had a track record of how old he is because we weren't there when he was born. He's estimated to be about 150 years old, and he weighs about 500 pounds. That's a large tortoise. Alright, coming up on our right is home to our Kill Bill toucans. They have these bright bills. It's very cool. Kind of like those on the Fruit Noob box. Now you may notice that they're very bright, and it might be hard for them to hide from predators. We got one up on the far right. What they'll do to hide from other predators is they'll turn their head completely around. They'll fluff up their tail feathers, and they turn into this ball of shadow. They hide within the trees. Over to the left, you're going to see the side of our jaguar exhibit. If you ever come back here, make sure you check her out. That's Kaipora. Kaipora can wrap her jaws around an object the size of a bowling ball. What they'll do out in the wild is go straight for their prey skull, and they will not let it go. I'll see if we can spot some of our ladies out here. We have 3 Asian elephants here at the Phoenix Zoo, and it looks like we only got 1 out, or they might be changing. Now, I want to point out something in the exhibit. A lot of people don't notice this, but you see these umbrella things. These are called puzzle feeders. Out in the wild, elephants will forage for food for up to 16 hours in a day. However, here in captivity, they're given their food, so we want to keep their minds going and growing. So we make these puzzle feeders and hide their food, so they spend most of their day out here looking for that food. You also see them moving around rocks and logs, these heavy objects. That's because their trunks have more muscles than we do in our entire body. So they can lift up those heavy objects with ease. They can even pinpoint small ones, such as a Tic Tac, as well. You're going to see Reba over here on her left. She's just hanging out. We have this crowd of people. Now, if you look at Reba's forehead, you're going to notice she has this splotching pattern on her forehead. And it looks kind of like, kind of looks like sunburn. Please do not hop on the train while it's moving. I just saw somebody hop on the train while it was moving. Alrighty, like I was saying, these are not sunburns, they are age spots. They will continue to get them as the elephants will grow older and older. So no worries about that. Alright, coming up on our right, you're going to see a glass case which has the skull of a bull African elephant on it. He's on the left side, and you're also going to see a tooth of an elephant on the far right side. Elephants will lose their teeth up to 6 times in a lifetime. I don't know about you, but one was good enough for me. Now, if you look in that elephant skull, you're going to see that socket up on the forehead area. They believed that back when they were digging up mammoth skulls, that people thought that's where Cyclops myths came from, because they used to think they were giant human skulls, and that's where their eyes were going. Sorry about that. Look at there, our keepers are just hanging out. Alright guys, I don't know how our keepers figured this out, but apparently our elephants have a sweet tooth. So what they used to do is they would get them powdered Gatorade and they'd line it along the water trough. And the elephants would come over and they'd suck up the powdered Gatorade and they'd suck up a chunk full of water. And they were actually seen shaking their heads back and forth, mixing the Gatorade. Pretty cool, huh? That'd be a fun Gatorade commercial. Over to the right, you're going to see another entrance to our tropics trail I was talking about. But immediately you're going to find the land of the dragons. Yeah, this is home to our Komodo dragons, where we have Ivan and Gaia, our both male and female. Back there on the tropics trail, you're also going to see our new orangutan exhibit. However, it is not open yet. It'll be opening up on April 11th, 411. Make sure you come back and check it out sometime. Right beyond our Komodos, you're going to see an island that is home to our buff-cheeked gibbons. You see the little brown and black thing hanging out on that cage? That's our male and female. They have very long arms that they use to swing. They also use it to climb. Now they don't have tails, so what do you think they are, apes or monkeys? Apes, that's right. Apes do not have tails, monkeys do. Cool. Alright, right behind them on the island closest to us is home to our ring-tailed lemurs. And on the other side, kind of by the cafe, is home to our red-ruffed lemurs. Now if you're ever over there eating at the cafe, you may notice a lot of barking and yelling. A lot of people think they're fighting, however, it's just a roll call. So just like our teachers call roll, they're just making sure everybody's still there and safe and sound. Alright guys, I gotta make a little stop here. Bear with me. Now we'll get this thing going. Alright. Now over to the left, you're going to see our endangered species carousel. We'll check that out. There's a triceratops. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Over to the left, towards the entrance of the zoo, you're going to see our Stingray Bay, which is home to 35 Komodo stingrays. At any time during your visit here at the Phoenix Zoo, you can go over there and pet them yourself. We also have scheduled feeding times throughout the day, so make sure when you're getting your tickets, you can check out those times and you can feed them as well. Alright guys, my name is David again. I thank you for joining me on this safari train tour. If you have any questions about the animals we saw or did not see, feel free to come up and ask me about them. I ask that you take everything off that you brought onto the train, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at the awesome and amazing Phoenix Zoo.